Welcome, everyone, to the L7C podcast Super Bowl week. Today, we are going to be reviewing the NFC and AFC championship games and previewing the Super Bowl that is this Sunday, February 13th. And it's Super Bowl week, so we got to have our NFL expert, Mr. Justin Ackendale. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing good, brother. How are you?
Man, it's Super Bowl week, one of the biggest weeks in America.
I know. Us Americans love our football.
Before we do start, I want your thoughts on this. When are they going to make the Monday after the Super Bowl a national holiday? I feel like that's the next move.
It's a holiday in Cincinnati. I know that. I don't gotta go to work tomorrow. I'm next.
Hey, man, it should be a holiday for everyone because everyone in America is watching the Super Bowl, either for the game, the commercials, the halftime show. Game doesn't end till like 10, 11, 12, and might as well just call that Monday a wash for everybody.
They definitely should. Hold on real quick. Let me look something up real fast. I was getting ready to say that President's Day is that Monday, but it's the Monday after. So banks and some schools get that off, but not.
Smooth. But yeah, like we said, we're going to be reviewing the AFC, NFC championship game, previewing the Super Bowl. Going to talk some Brian Flores a little bit. Going to talk some Tom Brady. But let's get into these games. Justin, let's start with your home city team, the Cincinnati Bengals, at the Chiefs, and the Bengals winning the game. What happened?
I mean, it was honestly crazy. Like, if you watch the first half of that game, you would have thought that Kansas City would have blown the Bengals out the water. I mean, Patrick Mahomes completed 85% of his passes, 220 touchdowns, 220 yards, 3 touchdowns, all in the first half. And then he came out and totally shit the bed the second half. 44%, 55 yards, no touchdown. It was pretty much just start dropping 8 players in the coverage and only rushing 3. And the Chiefs were having good success running the ball, and they were up 21-10 and going into halftime. So they could just ran the ball and sat on it, but they just kept throw, and Patrick Mahomes honestly bad decision. Hold on to the ball, getting sacked, a 3-man rush, which is terrible. Just not playing well in that second half.
Do you think Kansas lost that momentum when it was 3rd and goal and they didn't just take the field goal and before the halftime, and then they didn't get any points off that?
Yeah, I think that was definitely the Bengals. The Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes just hand that ball off to Tyreek Hill when they had 4 seconds left, so he could just threw it out of bounds or just could have made a decision. And then I watched a little bit of the film of the game last night, paying for this, and the Chiefs protection was good, and some of that protection was good. There was a couple whiffs. I know there was a play where Henderson and Hubbard just totally Chiefs on one of the sacks, but he had time. He could have ran with it. He could have checked to some run plays, because they were dropping 8 guys. They did not care about the run at all. The Chiefs ended up giving up 4 sacks. The Bengals surprisingly only gave up 1. I mean, yeah, they just didn't execute well in the second half, because personally I thought they should have won, but I did bet on the Bengals that game, so I was enjoying all of it.
Even the last possessions down the stretch when Kansas City was driving, I thought, it's about to be over. It's going to be a touchdown to Kelsey. Game's over in regulation. And like you talked about, Patrick just held the ball too long. I didn't know what he was trying to look for.
He was trying to – Bengals confused him too. I mean, they were showing one look at the pre-snap and then switching to other things. They had all those defenders back there. I mean, Joe Burrow, He does it again, gets the job done through 2 touchdowns, ran for some important first downs in the fourth quarter with his legs, which I thought was great. And then the Bengals end up tying the game. We get into overtime, and the Chiefs win the toss. I'm like, oh, damn. It's about to happen again. He's about to march it down and score again, and then he throws a pick on third down. I mean, it was kind of desperate, but like still just not a good decision. And then the Bengals get the ball and hold on to it and kick the field goal. It was a great win for the Bengals. Bengals first time in the Super Bowl since 1989.
So is it more about the Bengals hanging on, or is it about the Chiefs being, I don't want to say arrogant, but I felt like they felt like this game was over too, and then they just couldn't recover when Cincinnati started coming back.
Yeah, I would say it's definitely a case of the Chiefs just not executing. They just didn't execute very well, and that'll lose you games. And when a team is ready to play like the Bengals were in that second half, it was exactly like the first game they played in Week 18. The Chiefs only scored 3 points in the second half, same as Week 18.
And you had down that, their main guys are under contract next season, but they'll be fine. But what are they going to have to do? I can't believe I'm going to say a team that's been to the AFC Championship game 4 straight years to improve. But what do they need to do to improve now? Because obviously Cincinnati is here. You have Herbert and your division, the potential maybe of Aaron going to Denver. Like, what do you have to do to be back up here? Because the AFC, man, there's a lot of good young teams.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, just get more balance to the offense. Like, if the Chiefs are balanced on offense, they're unstoppable. Simple as that.
Makes sense. But congratulations to the Cincinnati Bengals. They'll be going to the Super Bowl playing against the NFC champ. We had for the third time this year, 49ers at the Rams. Go ahead, Justin.
Yeah, NFC Championship game for the third time this season. Rams coming in this game were 0-6 against the 49ers, haven't beat them since 2018. Rams were down 10-17 at halftime. Then going into the fourth quarter, 49ers were up 17-7. Then the Rams go on and score 13 extra points in the fourth quarter to win the game. Stafford was good, 31 for 45, 337 yards, 2 touchdowns. Odell had a big game, and my stupid ass took his under receiving yards on the betting prop. Stupid by me. Should have just took the Cooper Kupp over and just took my money. But yeah, he had 9 catches for 113 yards. Cooper Kupp had 11 catches for 142 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jimmy G played well. I mean, below 6% completions, but he threw 2 touchdowns too. Threw one to Debo for a 44-yarder. But I mean, I'm still impressed with the 49ers, even like only losing by 3 because they only rushed for 50 yards. They lost time of possession by 10 minutes. They still only lost the game by 3. The better team just ended up winning this game. That's what it pretty much came down to.
For me, the game changed when I'm blanking on his name right now. When Stafford threw that deep ball and the corner for San Francisco had the pick right in his hands.
Oh, number 6. Oh, Jimmy Ward.
If he catches that,
game's over.
The Rams are going home. It would have been 17-7. It's just crazy how football, it's like literally comes down to 1 or 2 plays because that he dropped that and then they scored that possession.
Yeah.
And literally. Like momentum was over. Like if he catches that, it's over. And Jimmy G's in the Super Bowl.
That's what people don't understand about football. Like it's when games like that, it's like it comes down to 3 plays. Almost every single time. Yeah, Jimmy Ward catches that football. The 49ers are going to the Super Bowl, and we're seeing Bengals 49ers too.
And the whole narrative on Matt Stafford, Sean McVay is completely different.
I mean, we've been saying for weeks, like, the Rams had to get to this spot. They had to get to the Super Bowl. They sold everything. They haven't drafted a first-round pick in years. They got Odell Beckham. They got Von Miller. They have a stacked team, and they had to get Stafford. McVay said, "Oh, can't do it with Jared Goff. Get Stafford." And hey, look, he's in the Super Bowl again.
Yeah, but it's not just about getting now. They got to win because he got to a Super Bowl with Stafford. I mean, with Golf, but now you got to win. Will they though? I don't know. I don't.
Yeah, I think the pressure for the Super Bowl is definitely on the Rams. I mean, the Bengals are playing with house money. No one thought they'll be here.
Yeah. And the Rams are hosting the Super Bowl. It's hope. But let's get to it, man. Justin, what are you seeing in this Super Bowl? I see you have the Rams are a 4 point. I don't. Is that too high? Like this is the fake news Rams. Is it because they're at home?
No, nah. I think it opened up at 4.5, I believe, and got bet down, and then it started off at 3.5, and then it got bet up to like 4.5, and then came back down to 4.
Okay.
So I mean, I think it's a fair line. I mean, I think the Rams should be favored in the game. Absolutely. I mean, on paper, I mean the Bengals really have no business being in this game. Like the offensive line's terrible. An article I read, ESPN's stats and info, the Rams rank first in pass rush win rate, and the Bengals are 30th in pass block win rate. I mean, they had the rankings of all the Bengals offensive linemen, and then the backup that came in after the dude got hurt last week, and it was bad. They were bottom half, to say the least. So they're not very good. The Bengals' path to the victory is they gotta throw the ball quick. They gotta get it out. They gotta try to run the ball. The Rams do a lot of too high safety, so they got try to run out of that with Joe Mixon. And then the Rams also were ranked 29th in DVOA against passes in the short middle. CJ and Zama, the Bengals tied in at the pep rally, their going away party that the season ticket holders got to be at. He rips off his brace and starts pumping the crowd up. So he's going to play in that game. T. Higgins is also a target in the middle of the field that Joe Burrow really likes. I'm very interested to see what the Rams do with Jamar Chase, if they're going to have Jalen Ramsey just guard him straight up or like roll covers to him or double him. Like, I'm very interested to see that. I think the Bengals are going to have, I don't think they're going to stop Cooper Kupp at all. Like, I was going to keep it.
No one has.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to stop Cooper Kupp at all. So the Bengals are going to need to keep up. I expect a high scoring game, but I don't know, man. I got to go with the Bengals, though. I'm sorry.
How big of a role? Because it seems like he's had an awakening since come. Like, if they do something with Cooper, what about Odell? He just had 100 yards last game. If he starts getting loose, how big of a factor could he be?
He could be huge. He can be huge. I mean, you're going to have to double Cooper Kupp or do something. I don't know. You ain't going to stop him. Like, no one's done all year. Odell got busy against the 49ers. So it's going to be tough to stop the Rams offense. And then if they get the running game going, it's going to be a wrap.
So then on the flip side, I mean, is the most important person in this game Aaron Donald? Because if Aaron Donald gets to Burrow, it's over. If he because that line you just said is terrible, and Aaron Donald is the best player in the league.
I don't think the Bengals are going to put Burrow in that situation of trying to bomb it to Jamar Chase. Like, that can't happen because they won't hold up if they do that. And the Bengals didn't really do that against the Chiefs either. Like, Burrow's getting the ball out quick, and when he wasn't getting out quick, he was able to make stuff happen on the move. So I don't think it's going to be a 5-step, 7-step drop bombing type of game for the Bengals. They're going to have to dink it and duck it to win this game.
So like you said, too, with the Bengals are playing with house money, which I agree. They don't, of course, they want to win, but if they lose, it's like, okay, you made it to the Super Bowl. Like you said, they're not supposed to be. If the Rams lose, it's just like you said, they gave up the whole farm just to lose again. And when Matt Stafford, like, this is probably going to be his only shot to win a Super Bowl. I'm just saying that because the NFL, the parity is just crazy. Like, they could be in the Super Bowl this year and then not make the playoffs next year.
Yeah, they absolutely can. The NFC quarterback outlook for next year, I mean, Stafford's top 3. So I don't see the reason why the Rams can't make it back to the Super Bowl next year. But they do play in the toughest division in football. I'm interested to see how Trey Lance does with the 49ers because Jimmy G won't be quarterbacking them next year. So yeah, it's very interesting. The Bengals, on the other hand, I mean, they're the cream of the crop of the division. I know the Ravens are going to be back. The Browns, whatever. And we don't know who's playing quarterback for the Steelers. So the Bengals are looking good next year.
I will say with the Steelers, though, just off history, I mean, Mike Tomlin has never had a losing season. So even with the worst, like with Mason Rudolph, he didn't have a losing season. So I think coaching, like you've said, coaching really matters in the NFL.
Yeah, actually, let me take that back about the Steelers. They don't have a quarterback, but their defense was special this year. They really were. I mean, TJ Watt literally won them some games, and if they do it, shit, they can get a Jimmy G. They'll be right back. Yeah, they'll be right back up there because they have a very good receiving core too. Najee Harris at the backfield. So yeah, the Steelers could make it easy turnaround. Last year.
The only thing I say for Matt, like you said, like top three, and I agree in the NFC, but man, football, it's not guaranteed, man. Aaron Rodgers has been like the top quarterback for like 10 years and he hasn't been back.
It's not guaranteed. Like a lot of this shit is who's not hurt when you get into the play. Both these teams were relatively healthy, and that can be a huge determining factor of why they're even in the Super Bowl. No one's really hurt.
Yeah, no one's hurt. The NFL stops testing for COVID.
They stopped testing for COVID.
Oh, absolutely.
1,000% facts.
Well, they stopped when the playoffs started.
Yeah, as soon as the playoffs started, you did not hear anything about COVID anymore.
Oh, no. So you're taking the Bengals. Like, what are their keys? Like, how are they going to win this game?
They're going to have to rely on Joe Burrow. That is my Bengals pick is me picking Joe Burrow over Matt Stafford. That's what it boils down to because the Rams are the better team.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been Cincinnati. I just can't bet against them. Like that. Okay. The energy around here crazy right now. Gotta ride it. Gotta ride that wave.
So if he, in his first really full season of really playing, wins the Super Bowl, I've already seen people saying if Joe Burrow wins the Super Bowl and he's Super Bowl MVP, he's the new face of the NFL. How much on board of that are you?
Yeah, I mean, the Bengals are going to be promoted if that happens. You're going to see the Bengals on national TV every week like they're the Cowboys or something. If that happens.
They'll be having Sunday night games, some Monday night games.
Yeah, I mean, I would have to say he's the best quarterback in the AFC without a doubt. I mean, he's doing this with one of the worst lines in the NFL. Just let that sink in. I know his receiving core is stacked. I know Joe Mixon is in the backfield, but his line is not good.
I think
he's still putting up these numbers, and they're getting wins. He keeps winning.
It does. Just like we talked about football being a one-play like game. It's the same with coaching too. Because if this season didn't happen, I already heard people getting tired of Zach Taylor wanting.
Oh, Zach Taylor probably would have been fired. He would have been fired.
That's what the NFL's so crazy. Now it's just like he might get an extension after this year.
Joe Burrow saved his job.
Okay.
I'm telling you, it is Joe Burrow. Like, I'm picking the Bengals because of that man. It is what it is. Like, everything I have read, all the studying I've been doing, the Bengals should not win this game. They shouldn't have won in Tennessee. They shouldn't have won in Kansas City. So shit. It's like one of those magical runs. You know how like the Giants did in 2007 or shit. Even Green Bay did when they won when Aaron Rodgers won his Super Bowl. It's one of those. It's one of those type of runs. I feel like,
man, if they do it, it'd be a whole changing of the guard here because nobody had the Bengals at the beginning of the year. Even when they were 5-2 at one point in the season, were the top team in the AFC, then lost to the Jets the next week. No one had them, but here they are, man. If they win, it makes the AFC North very interesting.
In the AFC North, it's always been a dogfight when Cincinnati is good. The Browns, over the time I've been watching football, never really been in it, but the Bengals were decent with Andy Dalton, so it's always been a tough division, like a very competitive division. They all play each other tough.
But Justin, if Joe Burrow does win this Super Bowl, which it's usually the quarterback who wins Super Bowl MVP, but I could feel like Jamar Chase, if he can get loose, I think if the Rams win, like you put down, Cooper Kupp's going to be the reason they win because he'll bust a 200 plus receiving yard game. But if Joe Burrow wins, how much pressure does that put on all those other young quarterbacks like Lamar and her? Like, because if you let Joe Burrow come back in his first full season and win, obviously Patrick Mahomes already has his one, so technically he's fine. But it's like you let Joe Burrow come in, especially Lamar Jackson, who's in that division.
Joe Burrow gonna fuck it up for all these guys if he wins the Super Bowl, all of them. Because, like I said before, he does not have an offensive line. Like he is doing it and running for his life, and he was one of the most sacked quarterbacks in the game this season, and he still got here. Like the man's been honestly doing it since LSU. Like I bet against this man against Clemson in that national championship.
Well, Clemson had the better quarterback.
It did have a better quarterback. He made me look stupid then. So I think I'm going to have to stop betting against Joe Burrow at this point.
It'd just be crazy if he wins because it puts so much pressure on all these other.
I heard a stat said that like every like gotta have it game that he's played in since like that 2019 LSU season, like playoff games, like big stakes games, hasn't lost.
I mean, the team, he's just brought a swagger to that team, especially the kicker, man. Like he says, looks like we're going to the AFC. He has no fear.
I mean, yeah, when you're not missing kicks, your kicker gotta have confidence though. I want my kicker to kind of be cocky though, because you gotta have that confidence to go in there down or like down by 1 point or the game tied to win that game, because that is pressure. Because if you miss that kick, you're gonna get on Twitter tomorrow. You're gonna be getting skewed. If you do it 2 weeks in a row, you might get fired. Like, kicking's hard. They don't give a shit about you until you start missing those damn kicks. Like, I feel for him, man.
I did say to some other people with this Super Bowl, for Cleveland Browns fans, this is damned if you do, damned if you don't. Because either Cincinnati's going to win the Super Bowl, where this is technically where you should have been projected last year.
Oh, Browns fans are sick.
You either going to have the Bengals win or you're going to have OBJ win. So, like, it's a lose-lose for Browns fans.
They're salty.
I can't blame them. I mean, it's just the way it is with that. But you got the Bengals winning. Man, I do want to take Cincinnati, but I got to take the Rams simply for like, man, this on anime principle. Like you're playing at home. You gave up everything for this power. You got to get it done. You sacrificed everything.
I mean, yeah, on paper, the Rams should win this game. Like, there's honestly no reason why they shouldn't win. But hey, man, everyone's sipping the Joe Burrow Kool-Aid right now.
I would not be surprised if they won. I'd be happy if they won. It's just the Rams. Nah, man, it's like the Rams when Itachi and killed their whole clan for this. They got to do it. They got to do it.
Yeah, they do. They do.
But Justin, man, it seems like the NFL just can never just get to the games. We had two groundbreaking breaking news come out. Let's start off with Brian Flores. Justin, what the hell happened?
Yeah, so Brian Flores, he went to so after the Giants hired Brian Daboll. Now it wasn't like announced yet to like Schefter and all. It hasn't been tweeted yet. And they still had the interview someone for the Rooney Rule, the Rooney Rule in the NFL where you got to hire a minority applicant. And Bill Belichick why are you laughing, Ben?
Old people should be triple texting their text.
Yeah, this is kind of funny. But yeah, so Bill Belichick texts Brian Flores thinking it was Brian Daboll. Congratulations on the Giants job.
Mm-hmm.
And Brian Flores is getting ready to go into an interview with the Giants to interview for their head coaching job. And they've already decided who their candidate is. So the interview with the Giants was a sham interview. The Giants were doing what they had to do to not get fined and lose draft picks. So Brian Flores last week, I guess he has quite frankly had enough of the fake news. He's had enough. So he got his New York, Brooklyn lawyers and he sued the NFL, a class action lawsuit for racial discrimination against the NFL owners and coaching.
Oh man, what was your first reaction? Because when he shared the text, I lost it. Like that was bad.
Yeah, that was honestly terrible. Like Bill Belichick. I mean, come on. Like I'm thinking in his phone, he just got Brian's in there.
Yep.
And he just looks at them by like area code or something.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's no way he mixed up Brian Flores and Brian Dable. Like, honest mistake by Bill. But like my first thoughts of the lawsuit, like, not gonna lie, my first reaction is I'm like, damn, Brian Flores said, fuck having the job in the NFL again.
Ever again.
Because shit, they blackball Kaepernick for just silently protesting.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they're going to exile Brian Flores for trying to take him out.
Oh, he's never getting a job again. He might as well go to college, and it depends on what college.
Yeah,
he's not getting a job ever again. Like, and I saw something too that obviously Houston, they hired Lovie Smith now, but before that, they were going to hire Josh McCown, the former quarterback who has no NFL coaching, coordinator experience, anything. He's a high school coach.
The Texans got shamed in the hiring. Lovie
yes,
Smith.
they did.
They got shamed. That I don't know what the hell they're doing in Houston. Like, so essentially, they hired David Culley to just be the face of their trash season. Because when they fired him, that man got paid all his money. So he got paid like $22 million for one season of losing.
He won a lot more games than we thought he would, though.
Yeah, he really did. Like, I was kind of
that
impressed.
Trash team, no Deshaun. Like, come on.
Yeah, it was impressive.
What do you see this lawsuit going? Because it's not going away. Like, this is getting talked about every day now.
Yeah, I mean, it's honestly a PR nightmare for the NFL. Mm-hmm. I heard the legal experts talking about there's not really a way to prove racism. So I don't know how far the lawsuit's going to go. NFL might end up selling with them. Like, it's crazy because Brian Flores, he filed that lawsuit when there were like 3 jobs still open.
Yep.
So like the timing of it could have been more advantageous for him to like get ultimately what he wants. I don't think he was suing for money. I think he was suing because he's pissed off and he's trying to send a message, which I personally respect out of him.
Let's talk about because he was obviously at the Dolphins. He's had winning seasons there, and his claim that the owner was offering him $100K to lose games, and his lawyers say they have a proof of that. If they truly have proof of that, Justin, that owner might have to go.
Yeah. I know the NFL's not going to, the NFL owners are not going to want a set of precedent of like kicking out someone for the league, but like, because that can end up being them once they fuck up. Yep. But, the NFL and like all these sports now are like tied up with like all these gambling companies and stuff. And like, that's an integrity of the game issue. Like, you paying your coach to actively go out there and just like, it's hard to prove that like you're throwing the game. Like, you're calling QB sneaks on like 3rd and 10 and shit, just knowing that you're not going to get the first down. Like, it's kind of hard to like prove it. So we got to see how that folds. But like, yeah, that's terrible. Like the fact that he like told Brian Flores that and like left evidence that like can be a paper trail that can be tracked. Like, that's terrible.
Yeah, because currently before Lovie Smith got hired, there was only one African-American coach.
It was half.
One half.
The Dolphins just hired a mixed dude.
Yep, that is true. Before he got hired, there was only one, and it was Mike Tomlin. And obviously, he's with the Steelers because the Steelers don't play that fire you after 2-year nonsense. Like, they will keep you as long as you're winning, you're staying there.
Yeah.
So that's kind of crazy because obviously the league's like 70% black, and you only had one coach. Well, now 1.5 because one is mixed. So.
Yeah, 2.5.
2.5, yeah, because Lovie Smith is back.
2.5. Ron Rivera is Hispanic, and then Robert Saleh is Middle Eastern.
That's true. So you got a couple of those, but it's like, oh, it's a bad look, man. That and the Giants too. Also, the only NFL team to never hire a African American coach in the NFL.
Like a coach, period, like assistant, anything.
Head coach.
Head coach.
I don't know about so they've been talking about it, like, oh, that's why they keep bragging on the Giants, and also because the owner of the Giants is on the diversity inclusion board. How are you on the diversity inclusion board when you have no diversity inclusion in your own organization? That is wild. Yeah, but these are like I've always said with rich people, they're just going to settle because you don't want this going to Discovery. The NFL does not want that.
No, no, they do not.
They don't need. First you kicked out Gruden, then you had Urban stuff, now you got this stuff. You do not need this going to Discovery and lawyers reading all your files, and then there's something that happens with like they find an email that y'all really coerced to kick Gruden out, then he's coming back suing you. Yeah, they're gonna settle. I think they'll settle before the draft.
Yeah, but my thing is like, do NFL fans really care about all this stuff? I mean, every time I watch an NFL game, I'm not personally thinking about it. It's bullshit, but I'm not thinking about it. You see the ratings all the time. The ratings just keep going up. Every time I go to a Bengals game, the stadium's packed. Like, I don't think most NFL fans really give a damn about this type of stuff.
I don't either. I think it's also the same too, where many years ago there was a group of people who said the NFL was going to lose a lot of their fans because of like Colin Kaepernick and all of that. And then obviously that is not the case because the years after, ratings are still super high. They're still the most watched television show in America.
Yeah, period.
So I agree. Like football people are the people who just want to go watch the games. That's what they're there for. The people who just want to bet. That's what they're there for. It's the after stuff like once and stuff like, oh yeah, this is kind of messed up. But hey, it's not affecting my watching as cruel as it is. That's how probably most football people are thinking.
Yeah, it's sad.
Let's go to the other news. Tom Brady. So on Saturday, let's go all the way back to the 29th. Yeah, Saturday the 29th, we just get breaking news from Schefter, Darlington, that Tom Brady is going to be announcing his retirement. Obviously, if you weren't working, we would have been breaking that time frame on that day. And then you see everyone giving his props and all of that. And then you have people in his camp saying he's not retiring. Hold on. No one has announced that he's retiring. His dad said he hasn't made a decision. And then obviously comes out a couple of days later, posts his own thing, says he's retiring. I think the biggest thing with that, Justin, before we talk about Tom retiring, is that Schefter, Tom wanted to be the one to announce it. He didn't want them breaking the news.
Yeah, I guess, but I'm not going to kill Adam Schefter for doing his job. I mean, he figured out Tom Brady was about to retire, and he reported the story.
I mean, if I was Tom, I'd find out which one person in his inner circle called Schefter, though.
Yeah.
That's who I would find.
That's who Tom needs to worry about, but yeah, I'm not going to kill Adam Schefter for doing this damn job. No.
But Justin, man, Tom Brady finally retiring. We know the stats. 10 Super Bowl appearances, 7 wins. Like he was literally in the Super Bowl half of his career. Almost every record imaginable. What were your thoughts when you saw the news that he was retiring?
I didn't think it was real, honestly, because I really thought this man was going to play until he's 45. I mean, he led the NFL in passing last year. I mean, he didn't win a Super Bowl this last year, but I think the way he went out was pretty good, if you ask me. He decided that he was not about to die in that Rams game in the divisional round. He came all the way back, and he said, I ain't going out like this. And
yes.
That's respect. The man threw for 5,000 yards this season and 43 touchdowns. I mean, numerous records in the Super Bowl all the time. The man, if you break down Tom Brady's career in the 3 parts, the man had 3 different Hall of Fame careers.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's crazy. It's gonna be real crazy at in September when I'm about to watch an NFL game and Tom Brady's not playing on Sunday. Like, it's going to be weird.
It's crazy because he played the 2 season with the Bucks, got him a Super Bowl in his first season, all winning road games to get to the Super Bowl. So, and winning, there's nothing really you can say about the guy. I mean, 7 Super Bowls. He has the most Super Bowls.
I mean, I think his most impressive one might be the Deflategate year. I mean, it's essentially the NFL tried to ruin Tom Brady, suspend him from 4 games, and it didn't matter. And then the Super Bowl that year, he came back from 28-3 in one of the greatest games I've ever seen.
Yeah, that I agree. I think one of my favorite ones, though, besides that 28-3 one, I think for me was the Seahawks game. Just because he threw for like 100 and something and 2 touchdowns like in the fourth quarter and came back. Obviously, Malcolm Butler got that pick, but it's just the fact that was prime Legion of Boom. Prime Legion. The Legion of Boom that just stomped your rival, Peyton, a year before. And it's your turn, and you find a way to get it done.
Just think about all the AFC quarterbacks who couldn't get a ring who couldn't get multiple rings because of this man. I mean, Tom Brady has 7, Big Ben 2. I mean, Peyton Manning 3. Imagine how many Super Bowl.
Peyton only has 2. He's been to 3. Only has 2.
Yeah, my fault. Yeah, only has 2. Phillip Rivers couldn't get one. I'm trying to think of some other guys. I mean, I didn't think Joe Flacco. Oh, Joe Flacco did get one.
Well, if you look at the history, like the past, I think 20, 30 years, the Super Bowls always had Peyton, Tom, Ben, or like the 49ers. There was a crazy stat like that. I mean, those 3 were running the AFC literally from our childhood to adulthood.
Yeah. Yeah. Since I've been watching football, I've been watching Tom Brady in the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
The first Super Bowl I remember watching was the one against the Panthers.
Yep, 04. Because that was the end of the 3. Yeah, the end of the 3P. Was that? Yeah.
That was the beginning.
The beginning, yeah, it was the beginning. Because that was Jake. Was Jake Delhomme the quarterback?
Yes, he was.
Yes, he was. Yep. But no, I remember that, and obviously those first 3, they were always super close. Actually, all of his Super Bowls have been relatively close, besides this last one. But he leads them down the field. Adam Vinatieri kicks the field goal. Patriots win. That was the motto.
Even his losses is crazy. Like the one that he lost against the Eagles, he went off that game. Tom Brady was going crazy. The second Giants Super Bowl loss, like the Patriots could have won that game.
Mario Manningham catch.
Yeah, the first one that was just
Tyreek. Yeah,
that was just a Giants game. That was just God saying, "We're not going to let you win this, Tom Brady,"
and go undefeated, 19-0. Still the best team he's ever been on.
Yeah, that was God right there. But yeah, man, it's wild.
Like, but we already had Ben retire, and then we just have Tom retire. Well, there's another number 12. Is Aaron sitting back like, oh, well, now Tom's out, so I don't have to worry about him. If he was thinking about retiring, maybe I should go back to Green Bay. Like, what is Aaron thinking? What are these other quarterbacks thinking? It's open. Tom's gone.
Yes, but if Aaron Rodgers was to retire, I heard this on the Joy Taylor show on Saturday when I was driving around, and one of her guests brought this up. If they all retire this year, 5 years go past, who's not going to be first ballot? Because they ain't going to put 3 quarterbacks in at once.
You know who I would say? I mean, it's
pretty much a team. Tom Brady. I mean, not Tom Brady. Tom Brady's definitely going to be the first ballot.
He'll be the headliner.
But like between Big Ben and Aaron Rodgers, who they going to leave out?
You know what's crazy? For me, I'm leaving Aaron out. Ben's been to 3 Super Bowls, 1, 2. Aaron's only been to 1. On that alone, I'm leaving him out.
But Aaron Rodgers beat Big Ben in that Super Bowl.
He did. But it's just like Big Ben was getting to more Super Bowls with Tom and Peyton in their primes that Aaron could in the AFC, in the NFC.
And then like, all right, those Pittsburgh Steelers teams, like all the times Big Ben went to the Super Bowl, that defense was top 3.
Oh yeah.
It was top 3. And then the one time Aaron Rodgers has a top 5 defense, he wins the Super Bowl. So,
but his defense has been pretty good these past couple of years, especially the last 2.
Yeah, these past couple of years. But when he had a top 5 defense, he ran it, and then he ran the table in the playoffs, and then won the Super Bowl. And then the year after, they go 15-1.
We do always forget though that if Jay Cutler plays that whole game, they might lose. They probably could have lost Green Bay. They're playing against a backup quarterback in the NFC Championship game, and it was still close.
Yeah, but does Jay Cutler have enough pride to win that game?
I don't know, man.
Because Jay Cutler does not give a fuck.
He doesn't, but Colin
that
Cowherd
nigga was out there collecting checks.
Colin Cowherd really called Aaron Rodgers Jay Cutler with a ring.
Yeah, I mean,
that was rude as hell.
I mean, is he wrong?
I don't know.
That man serves up some looks on the sideline with his team playing like shit, though.
I don't know, man. Like, Tom's gone. Like, it's crazy. Like, all my childhood quarterbacks are literally gone now. Peyton's gone. Ben's gone. Tom's gone. Philip's gone. Eli's gone. That was it. The top, like, that generation of top people. Now we got this new group. It's a new era, man. Like, we thought Patrick, I mean, he's already been to 2 Super Bowls. He's won 1. But now if Joey wins 1, like,
Patrick Mahomes is still 9th and 30. He's only 25.
It's true, but it's now. But if Joey wins, you got Joey, you got Herbert, you got Lamar. You still got, I mean, we'll find out if he ever plays again. You got Watson. Like, there is some really good quarterbacks over there. Oh, we got Josh Allen.
Oh, how can we forget about that, man?
I think the Bills would have smacked the Bengals. They wouldn't. Josh Allen would have let that flow, man.
Oh, that. Whew. My spirit animal, man. We can't be talking about Josh Allen. I love that, man.
Like, they have him too. Like, they got some quarterbacks there. So, like, Aaron, now Tom's out of the NFC. You still got Stafford there. I don't know where Russell Wilson's going to end up. You got Kyler, who deleted his whole team off of his social media, which that is the most 2000-ish new wave thing we do now. That if we're mad at our team, we just delete them off our social media accounts.
Yeah, I think he's either trying to get paid early now, or it could be like he could be in some Super Bowl ad that we don't know about.
That's true too, but I don't know. What does Aaron do? Does he go to Green Bay? Does he retire? No, like,
I don't think he's going to retire.
So,
I'll tell you that right now. And then I was on record saying if they won the Super Bowl, there was no way he was going anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they lost in a pretty spectacular, terrible fashion. So I don't know what he's going to end up doing. I definitely think he's going to test the market.
Does he go to?
Even though he's under contract, they're definitely going to test. He's definitely going to test the trade market, see what can happen there.
Does he try and go to the Buccaneers, the Titans? Those are some prime destinations I've heard.
I heard Denver.
Yep.
I wouldn't want to play Denver. I wouldn't want to be in that QB division.
Mahomes, Herbert, and don't sleep on Derek Carr. Derek Carr, nice.
Yeah, Derek Carr hard too. Like, I wouldn't want to be in that division. I wouldn't want to be in that division. The Giants are terrible, but they're going to need a quarterback. The Washington Commanders now. I'm still going to call them a team with no name, but they don't have a quarterback. Let's think. The Carolina Panthers don't have a quarterback. I mean, there's plenty of teams that don't have QBs right now.
There's Pittsburgh. I will say, if you're looking to win now, win now, Pittsburgh or Cleveland.
I think Pittsburgh's the spot. If I'm Aaron Rodgers, I think I want to go to Pittsburgh. I want to be a Steeler. I want Mike Tomlin being my coach. If I'm Aaron Rodgers, I'm doing whatever I can to get to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and Pittsburgh cannot give up TJ. No.
No, but they got players. They got a defense. Mike Tomlin can coach up that defense. They're great at drafting receivers. Like, I think Aaron Rodgers can fit right in where Big Ben left off.
Okay. Justin, anything else, man? We previewed Super Bowl week. We got a big game. Like, obviously, this Sunday is going to be crazy. I know the bets are going to be wild because it's the Super Bowl. You can bet on literally anything.
Literally anything. I'm gonna be in betting heaven. I'm gonna have so much shit out there. It's gonna be wild. I might not win any money, but the bets are gonna be placed.
Coin toss, national anthem. How long's the halftime show? Like, oh, I've seen all the bets. It's a good time. It's really an unofficial American holiday.
It really is. It's basically just an excuse to party and watch football.
It is. And if you don't like football, to watch a free concert that you don't have to go to. I've heard people say that. So
the commercials, even though I don't really give a damn about commercials. I mean, why am I getting hyped? Because some company sent millions of dollars because the whole world's watching, trying to sell me some bullshit. Like
that's the reason they spent millions of dollars.
I don't understand why like the Super Bowl commercial is such a big deal. Like at the end of the day, that shit is still a commercial. It's still when I get my ass up and get more food or get more drink or use the bathroom. Fuck the commercials.
It's because, man, those companies know everyone is watching the Super Bowl. Everyone is sitting on their butts on the couch. What is the best way to advertise our product during the Super Bowl? And then the NFL is like, all right, you have to pay them $1 million for 30 seconds. You imagine paying the NFL $1 million for 30 seconds?
Yeah, it's wild. They're actually paying the network too.
Yeah, the network too, but $1 million for 30 seconds?
But it's just like why is the media and like fans that probably don't care about football like it says so much over like the Super Bowl commercials? It's just a really expensive commercial trying to sell you stuff like all the other commercials, just more expensive.
They put more effort into them, man. Like it's every year. As soon as the Super Bowl's over, you have the article about the game, and then you have like the articles about the commercials, and then you have the article about the halftime show. Never fails every year. The 3 articles, they'll have them out by Sunday night.
It's just like
that's America, man.
Why do I care about the 18th Budweiser commercial that I see? The 18th fucking one. I watch TV all the time. I see beer commercials. I'm just going to get more elaborate ones, I guess.
Yeah, that's how it is, man. But it's just it's part of the holiday. It is part of the holiday.
Yeah, hopefully the Bengals can just win this so I can go parade. That's really why I want the Bengals to win. I will be reporting live from the Bengals parade if that happens.
We can't wait for that. But with that being said, thank you, Justin, for giving us that great NFL insight. Thank you to all the listeners. Please sure to like, rate, comment, subscribe anywhere that you listen to. Super Bowl week, Rams, Bengals. It's going to be a good one. This is the L7C signing out. Thank you for listening to this episode of the L7C podcast. Be sure to like, rate, review, and subscribe to the channel. Follow us on all social media platforms, and we'll be talking to you guys soon. Take care.